more than 3 decades, which sounds really awful. But anyway, so I've worked for nonprofits, for-profits, very large corporations like Centura Health, Cisco, the food distributor, all the way to doing 20 years as a vice president of human resources for a large community health center here in Colorado. So I have a variety of experience. But about 5 years ago, I opened my own business, and I decided to do HR consulting and training. So we've broken it down into 2 areas. One is training, and that is where we transform managers and teams from ordinary to extraordinary. The second part of the business is really the HR consulting, and that we help with a lot of businesses that don't have the HR support, or they aren't big enough to have someone on staff. So we help them work through difficult situations, coach them through that. We help with policy development, handbooks, just being there as a resource for you. So that's kind of the background of me. My education is, I went to CSU, so go Rams, and have a master's degree in organizational performance and change happens to be really hot topic right now. We're all changing, right? And I also was a fellow at the George Washington University Healthcare Leadership Institute. So all of that, with all of that, I bring a lot of experience, is all that says. And so when I thought about this panel today, and I thank you, Amira, I thank you, Brad and Lou, for just being here. This is great to pull this together, Amira. It could be really valuable, I think, to people. And we're all feeling the change, the challenge. But at the same point, and I know that maybe some of you on the call have had to go through the unfortunate situation of laying people off or closing your businesses. Those that are not in that situation are trying to figure out, how am I going to make it till tomorrow? How am I going to make it next week? How do I keep my employees engaged? How do I do this? And we all know that employee salaries probably account for probably 80% of your expenses, has been my experience. So they're huge. But when we talked about this and how to set yourself up for the future, I thought quite a bit about, like, what could you do now that'll, when we all survive this in a few months, what do we have to do? And we still have to retain the employees, and we want them back. If we're closed, we still want them to come back to us when we open back up. And those that are currently working for us, they might be working at home, they're challenged by that, to say the least. We all are. But you want to make sure that you're caring for them and supporting them through that challenge, even though you as a business owner are challenged to the max yourself. Because we want to retain those people in the future, and a lot of that will depend on how we care for them right now. Because in reality, 6 months, 8 months down the road, or hopefully maybe 2 weeks, when we open up, we're still going to have that challenge. There's not enough employees to fill all the slots. We're still going to have that happen. So we still have to take care of who we have. So I broke it down into kind of 3 different areas. And one is really caring about your employees and showing that you really care. And I mean really care. So it means that people are not going to be as productive when they're at home, right? They just aren't. We have all sorts of things going on in our house. But understanding that and not setting your expectations too high, but realistic expectations for what they need to do. The other thing to do is really make sure that you're always thanking them. And so I have a thank you card here. And just, you can send out thank you cards to your customers, to your people that are supporting you, your vendors. Everyone is in the situation, and even a handwritten thank you card to your employees and for the work they're doing is huge. Be sure you're constantly checking in on them. So communication, this Zoom feature is huge. So still hold your team meetings. Don't just let people think that they're out there all by themselves. I spoke with 7 employees yesterday of an organization. We were doing what's called stay interviews. And some of them were just challenged by the technology. It's not something that some of us are very familiar with this. Many people are not, or our systems are not set up So they might bring a laptop home that we've had in our back room for 8 years, and they don't actually know how to use it and how to do it, or they don't have a camera, so doing Zoom is a little bit difficult for them. Things like that. But be understanding. Think about those things. How can you communicate constantly with people? And the other thing is to encourage the outdoor activities. And I know that doesn't sound like this is HR, but really, our mental health is huge right now. And if we can really encourage people to get outside and get those outdoor activities done, that would be a huge thing for your employees, and know that you support that. And when I say that, I'm going to go to number 2, because when you talk about online meetings, be sure that you're checking in daily, at least once a day, with every employee, whether it's a phone call. They're all working at home, unless you're an essential business. They're working at home, or again, if you've laid people off, still check in with them. Maybe not on a daily basis, but make sure they're doing okay. And just be there, because people are feeling very isolated right now. And then if you could set up an intranet site, you can set up a Facebook group. I know this sounds like out of the box thinking, but it's true, right? And have people, I don't know, engage them, have them post pictures of their pets, the worst fail they had at, working at home. Have them post just fun things. What are they making for dinner? How are they handling things? So they're simple things, but right now we have to keep it simple, because we can't add on this stress to everyone. So keeping those simple things done. And if you have an intranet site, allow people to share those things. If you look at Mountain Range High School, has a great, right here in Westminster, they have a great Facebook page right now, and they're using it for the teachers to post science projects or how to work out they had a PE teacher the other day doing slides across the floor and jumping over couches to keep in shape, etc. But it's those kinds of things that if you can encourage the employees to communicate with each other more than just at work. And it's definitely a shift, because many of us have grown up that business is business and personal is personal, right? But we're seeing that collide a little bit right now, because people need each other in all aspects. So I would say definitely do that. Then the other thing is, if this is kind of you're wondering what projects I can work on because I've laid off my staff, or I've had to decrease my staff, there's a couple things. One is you need to update your policies. Two, and this is if you're even got staff right now in your workforce, you have to update the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. That was passed last week. It requires paid leave for individuals for sick leave. It also requires the Emergency Family Medical Leave Act, which if you have less than 500 employees, that counts for you. So if you have one employee, unlike the FMLA, which is 50 or more in a radius of 75 miles, this covers everybody. And if you have one employee, you are covered by this act. It doesn't go into effect until April. I believe it's April 2nd. Don't quote me on that, April 2nd or 3rd. It stays in effect till December 31st. There is a poster that you're required to post. And all of that information can be found on the departmentoflabor.gov website. Additionally, if you need to develop a policy around that, there's a great policy on the Society for Human Resource Management. So SHRM, called SHRM.org. And they have opened it up. Normally it's just for members like me, but they have opened it up for all employers to get that information. So if you go to their website, on the very front, it'll say COVID-19. You click on it and it has a lot of information, including a policy that they're allowing you to download. And so don't feel like you can't have access to that. Make sure you go ahead and get that. And then the paid sick leave, but I'll talk about this a little bit, but it's a good time to just really be looking at all of your policies, because you're going to be updating it anyway. Look at your work from home policies, right? Look at your leave policies. Look at your, what I find often is that we tout a culture that then our policies don't support that culture. So this is a good time to make the two align better. Um, but also, look at your the paid sick leave under this act is, if you're quarantined, it's 2 weeks of paid sick leave or 80 hours. And that again goes into effect in April. It's not right now. And or you could have 2/3 their pay if they need to care for someone who is quarantined, or like school is closed, etc. And you can find all that information on the Department of Labor, or certainly reach out to me and I'll be glad to send that all to you. So there's a lot of different things. The 2/3 pay is if you have the bona fide reason, it's not you being sick. Then there's a tax credit that is allowed. It's dollar for dollar. And you also have to keep the health insurance intact. So, but if you have any questions on that, but hopefully that kind of takes up my 15 minutes, I think, pretty darn close. So, or do we have a few more? Amira, you look like you're going to say something. You're on mute.
You still have 5 minutes.
I still have 5 minutes.
But I mean, and give or take, like, just share everything you would like to share, and we'll go through the panelists, and then we'll open it up for Q&A.
Yeah. So I think that those are the things. Really use your out of the box thinking. It's really important right now as an employer that we are honestly projecting the caring of our employees, and that we really are understanding their challenges, and whatever we can do to stay connected. As we all know, being at home supposedly is a great thing to be able to work from home, but it's very isolating. And that's one thing that probably most of your employees are struggling with. And so how can you increase the interaction between employees? Again, lower the expectations a little bit as far as what productivity you expect to be done, because it is a challenge to learn that. Send your thank you cards. That would be a one thing that, send thank you cards, or check in with people constantly, and really encourage the outdoor activities. And you could even have, photography, who took the best picture of the tree, or find, have a scavenger hunt, find this or find that out in the state parks or something like that. But try, as serious as this is, and I'm not downplaying the seriousness of this whole situation, we also have to get people outside. And so even if you have a competition, of who finds the most dogs in their neighborhood or something, and takes pictures of them and sends it into your Facebook group or something like that. And I typically don't recommend Facebook groups for employers, but this is a time where we have to do something different to make sure we're making people stay engaged. So yeah, with that, I will turn it back over to you, Amira.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brad Friedman. I am the president of the Friedman Group, which is a digital marketing company. I think first off, I want to just pick up on what Ann just said about doing something different to keep people engaged, because that's really what I think we need to be doing right now as marketers. So in my company, we do all different kinds of things. We build websites and do search engine optimization and social media marketing management, digital ads. We do a lot of content development. I work with a lot of people on LinkedIn because we work mainly with professionals and business owners and the like. But right now, I would tell you first off that I hope, most of you are thinking about, regardless of what's going on in your business, that you are at least in the mindset of keeping doing what you need to be doing in order to survive. So like some of you, I had a challenging week myself last week. I had many clients call me and tell me, we need to put things on hold. We need to stop things. I want to stop paying for ads. Now's not the time to be advertising. Now's not the time to be marketing. I need to let you go. A lot of business owners think that marketing is sort of their fluff. It's the first thing that goes when times get tough. And as a business owner myself, and as a marketing company, I would tell you that that's not the case. That it's times like this when you need to be marketing, when you need to be doubling down, and you need to be taking advantage of this opportunity, because maybe you're not doing some of the other things that you would be doing. Now, I think, and I'm going to talk about this, I think you maybe need to be changing things up a little and doing things a little differently. And you can't be taking advantage of the situation. And I tried to, I was going to give you an example of something not to do. There was a McDonald's ad in Brazil yesterday, and you could Google this. The advertising company for McDonald's in Brazil thought they'd take advantage of the COVID-19 situation, and they took the golden arches and they separated them so they could show social distancing. And they put the yellow arches few inches apart on the red background, and they got tremendous backlash, because now is not the time to be making fun of this situation or trying to take advantage of the situation in a branding sense. And they had to take the ad down, and McDonald's had to apologize, and that advertising agency got a lot of grief. But from a digital marketing, point of view, I want to just break it down for you today in 3 parts: social media marketing, email marketing, digital advertising, and talk about it in those 3 areas and tell you what I think you ought to be doing. But I want to start off by telling you something that I feel very strongly about as far as the language that we're using today. So we're hearing a lot of talk about social distancing. And I feel very strongly that we should not be using the word social distancing. I think we should be using the words physical distancing. So I believe we should be 6 feet apart. I was at Home Depot yesterday picking something up, and they have all the X's on the ground, and they were letting us in, and we were 6 feet apart, and we should be physical distancing. But I don't think we should be social distancing. I think we need to be socializing right now. I think people are yearning for socializing. I think people are feeling isolated. I think they want to be talking to you on social media. They want to be having conversations. They want to be social. So the social distancing phrase does not resonate with me. Physical distancing, yes. I don't want to be close to people that might have this virus, but I want us to be social. I want us to be on social media, but I want us to be facilitating two-way conversations. I don't want us to be blasting out information about our business. I don't want us to be really selling as much as I want us to be, I don't know, the word that really comes to mind for me during this time is more empathetic, more trying to start conversations with our current customers, with our prospects, with our brand advocates. I want us to be on social media asking questions, recognizing that people are feeling isolated, but also recognizing that someday, hopefully someday soon, we're going to be back full speed, back in the marketplace, wanting to be top of mind. And during this time, we could be maintaining some top of mind awareness on social media by continuing to be engaging with our current customers, our prospects, and our ambassadors. So I'm thinking that, you know, as much as physical distancing is important, we need to be ramping up our social interaction, because really more than ever, people are needing this sort of what I call human to human connection. For instance, I think people are really wanting to know, for example, what's open, what's not open. You can be using social media to communicate changes to your hours, to the way that you're doing business, to the fact that you're using Zoom. I got a call this morning from one of my doctors saying they're doing telecommunication now, and I need to call and reschedule an appointment so that they can call me instead of having me come into the office. This would be something that you could be doing on social media too. So you want to make sure that everything online is up to date. Your Google My Business should be up to date. All of the things on your website with your hours should be up to date. You're going to want to use social media posts to make sure your community knows what's going on. Maybe your hours are shorter, you're dealing with kids at home or something like that, and you're only working from 8 to 4 or 10 to 3 or something like that. People need to know that. Put that in social media posts. Do posts that are open-ended questions that allow your community to answer, to engage with you, maybe on a deeper level where you can learn something about them. Be sure that you're replying to everything, even if it's a just thank you. Thank you for taking the time to reply. I responded to something the other day. A friend of mine posted that he was going live, and I responded and said, I might be a little late because I've got to do something else. And he just replied to me, thanks for taking the time to let me know. It's a nice thing to do. People want to know that you're listening to them, that you're engaging with them. They want that interaction. So take the time to build genuine relationships during this time, to let people know that you're there, that you care, that you're not just posting this stuff. I have a friend, she lives in Israel, and she posts stuff about her kids all the time and about the family and about what's going on. And never once in the 10 years since she moved to Israel has she ever replied to anything she's ever posted. And I send her stuff in Messenger all the time. I say, Kathy, reply to something. It would be nice if you engaged back and forth. It's social media. It's not just blasting out. It's not a newsletter. It's social for a reason. And still to this day, she never has ever responded to anything. So be creative, be fun with your posts. I mean, this is a serious time, but you still would like to engage with people on posts. I would also suggest that now is a good time to be doing some videos. Go live on Facebook. Do Q&As on Facebook. Let people engage with you on live video. Bring them in. Use a tool like Be Live or StreamYard or one of those tools that let you bring people in and you can have conversations with them. Interview people. Do some fun things on social media. Do whatever you can to engage with other people in your posts, highlight what's going on in your business on good things, share some fun ideas that you've seen that'll build community, shine the light on other people in the community that are doing some amazing work, facilitate a group around helping and serving others during this time. Do whatever you can do to kind of, I don't know, be human, show that you're understanding, show the human side of you sometimes that we don't show when we're trying to show that we're business owners and serious and running our business, because people want to see that right now. Most importantly, on the, those are sort of the things I think we ought to be doing on social media right now. So I also want to give you a few things that I think we ought to not be doing right now. Don't be tone deaf to what's going on. So the splitting up the golden arches so that there's physical distancing of the arches turned out to be a very bad idea for McDonald's. Don't not respond. Boy, that's a terrible double negative. My grammar. Remember, I'm a recovering attorney. I should have better grammar. Make sure you respond to everything, regardless of what it is, positive, negative. Anybody that replies to anything that you post, you need to respond to. Worst of all, keep posting. Don't stop posting altogether. Don't share news on your site that doesn't come from a trusted source. Okay, there's a lot of people out there that are posting, I hate that term fake news, but let's use it just because I only have 15 minutes and I can't think of a better phrase. But post from trusted sources. Start a conversation with good, trusted content. Don't place ads that are targeted to people that are suffering, and don't make jokes about what's going on. I think the word that I'd stress on social media right now really is to be empathetic, but use social media to engage with your community, to stay top of mind, and to really just keep in mind that, I keep telling my daughter is a worrier. So I text her probably twice a day with the phrase, "This too shall pass." And this too will pass. I'm telling you. I don't know when, but it will. And when we come out of this, we need our businesses to be still around. And social media is going to help us. And how we act right now online is going to determine, in part, where we are when we come out on the other end. So keep doing what you're doing on social media, but do it with some empathy. All right, so the next question I keep getting is, should I be running social media ads, and what kind of messaging should I use? And the answer is yes. And don't be tone deaf. So you should be running ads. You should be showing your creativeness to others. What I suggest with your ads is that you write your ad copy, and then you share it with other people on your team, and you ask them if they are offended by what it says. Sometimes we have tunnel vision and we write something and we think, oh, that's good, that's not going to offend anybody, and maybe it's on the line, or maybe it's over the line, or maybe we don't know. So I would just suggest that you might want to do that with some of your social media posts too. is just run it by somebody else and see, are we on the line? Is it, are we going over the line? Is it too much of a hard sell right now? I think right now, using video in our online ads is also very powerful. I think video is always very powerful in ads and in our social media posts. Again, people are isolated. People want to see you. People want to engage with you. People can really know who you are and what you represent and what kind of person you are when they see you on video. If you are online at all right now, you can see some of the more famous people using video to stay top of mind. People that aren't able to do their shows. Ellen DeGeneres is doing a ton of video from her house without her makeup on, all day long, sitting on her couch in her sweats, calling her famous people on the phone like she was doing her show. Here she is calling Justin Timberlake and calling her friend Jennifer Aniston and just being her goofy self, 2-minute videos, real quick. Jimmy Fallon in his basement holding up goofy signs. Those kinds of things are great. And they're talking about how they're feeling about this physical distancing. You can be doing some of the same things. I saw an ad here's an example of an ad that a friend of mine did. She's a brand ambassador for a video advertising tool. And she did a video ad, and the words that she used in this ad was talking about using video to communicate more deeply with your audience, with all of us doing our very best to communicate digitally during this time of isolation and challenge. We can use the power of video to more effectively connect with our customers and prospects. So she's pitching a company called Wave, but she's talking about using video to communicate more deeply with our audience during a time of isolation and challenge. So she took the circumstances that we're in to empathetically pitch a tool called Wave. So I think we should be doing ads. I think we should be doing them empathetically. Okay, so the third thing that I want to talk about is email. I think we should be doing email like crazy. I think we should always be doing email like crazy. I think email is very underrated as a form of digital marketing, but it's another way that we can be staying top of mind and engaging with our customers and our prospects. But again, I don't think we should be sending sales emails as much as we should be sending emails that are empathetic, that are reaching out to see how people are doing, to be sharing with people the fact that we're in the same situation that you're in. And we're reaching out to engage with you. How are you doing? We're as isolated as you are. We would like to hear from you so that we can have a conversation with somebody, letting people know that I'm here for you. I'm a resource for you. I'm a good listener. I want to be of help to you, is a way that we can stay top of mind during this time, and we can be helpful. And people might be hesitant to take you up on that, or they might not. They might need some help during this time. They might be having some struggles in their business, and they might need some advice. I mean, I've had lots of people, like I said, I've been getting questions. Should I be running ads? What should I be saying? What about email? What should I be posting on social media? So letting people know in your business that you're available to answer questions during this time could be very helpful. Keeping in mind again that, I mean, this is going to end, and we want to do what we can now to position ourselves the best we can for when it does end. So those are, I think I'm close to my 15 minutes, or knowing me, I'm probably way over, but that's what I got for you today. Thanks.
Thank you, Brad. That was awesome. Yeah, I especially liked what you went into just around deepening the relationships that we have with our clients and community. And as business owners, you're all leaders. You are all leaders in your community. So for you to really take that charge and become a resource for your clients and for your neighbors and the other people, it does two things, right? So it really establishes you that you really do care, as Brad was pointing out, and you have their best interest in heart. You're not trying to take advantage of the situation, but you want to help them, right? That's amazing. That's amazing. And Anne, what you shared was phenomenal. Thank you so much. I failed to acknowledge. I just went right into Brad, so I apologize. But sharing the information about the COVID policy updates and the FMLA and that website, that's phenomenal. And I loved what you said about really changing company culture, right? Isn't that what we're talking about? And both of our speakers so far have really delved into this opportunity that we all have coming out of this thing to recreate our life and the way we do business, right? So much, deeper, true, real relationships more authentically, right? Changing company culture that is really about self-care and taking the person into consideration first above the bottom line. And that's an amazing opportunity, really, that we all have right now. So thank you both for everything you've shared. And now we're going to turn it over to Lou. What do you have to share with us?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Lou Reverso, and I'm with the Jefferson County Business Resource Center as their advisor. In addition to that, I also have my own business where I work with small to medium businesses, helping them plan. So what I have is I hear constantly, if only I had the time, if I could do this, if only I had the time. So now you have the time. But before I start on that, I want to just go back to some of the things that the others have said. One of the biggest things I see happening is there's a paradigm shift going on. It's not something that paradigm shifts don't happen immediately. They take some time. And that's what this is about. So I'm looking at 4 areas. So I'm going to start with planning. Planning is the utmost. Many of you have business plans. I bet those business plans are buried at the back of your filing cabinet or in the back of your Word documents somewhere. Pull it out. Now is the time to relook at that business plan. But just as important as the business plan is the marketing section of that plan. Where do we go from here? And I think Brad said it best when he said, we have to plan for what's happening after the virus is over. And I think it's really important to call the virus what it is. It is a virus. It's something that is happening to all of us. So let's just stay with planning for a few minutes. Anne talked about updating your policies and procedures and your business manuals and in your procedure manuals, but it's time to do it for more than just employment. It's time, if you're even thinking about selling the business in the next 5 to 10 years, what you want to look at is you want to look at what do you have in your what are you selling? What are you going to sell? And a big part of what we sell is our procedures. So really look at the procedures and what you're doing there. But the business plan is so important. If you haven't had one, now is the time to write one. If you need an outline, give us a call or email us, and I will send you a copy of an outline. But then it's marketing. We have to keep in touch. We have to let people know that we're still around and this is where we want to go. But what, as Brad said, we don't want to sell. We just want to market, let people know we're still there. The other thing that I had on my list is something that Brad also talked about, which is videos. Now's the time. But the thing that he pointed out that I think is so important is these need to be short videos. They need to be 2 to 3 minute videos, unless you're going to post them on your own website. But just these short videos, people are dying for information right now. I'm sorry, bad word. People are really pushing for more information right now. The other thing are blogs. Blogs really help in so many ways. The good thing about the blogs is that you can write them for the next 6 to 12 months and then post them over time. But this is a good time to think about them, to even spend some time looking at what it is that I want to blog about. What are people most interested in? The other thing is preparing for hiring. We're all going to have to hire at some point or another. And when we do, one of the best ways to hire is to really have an excellent uh, job description. So start writing. If you have employees, but look at the job descriptions you have for those and update them. It can also help you, as Anne pointed out, lower your expectations right now, but then know what they are when we come back to work. Another big thing is technology. How much do we want to learn? What are the new things that we say, oh, I wish I knew more about that? Make a list of what they are. And for a short portion of every day, learn something new in technology. There are two areas that people always tell me they're behind on. The first one is filing. Now's a great time to clean out the old files from 2019 and prepare for your taxes. If you haven't already done that, it's a nice time to put all of that back into motion. And the other thing is to set up your files for this year if you haven't. And then the other thing is, oh, I'm so behind in my financials. I just don't know where they are. So again, pulling the old out, getting your taxes done, but have everything looked at. The other thing is that we do planning for the year. Now that this has happened, you may have done your financial planning, but it's changing because of the virus or what's going on. So relook at that and make a decision of how you're going to do that. And the last thing that I want to talk about is, even though we're not supposed to be out, we're not supposed to be doing things, let's try as much as possible to buy locally. There's a lot of people online. We can call them, they can mail to us. Mail carriers are really happy with all the addition that they're getting. But we can mail to each other. We can send things. So there's a major amount of things that we can do right now to plan. So now, the biggest question I've been getting is, this is all great and I love the planning and I'm keeping up my marketing, but what do I do for money? And I wish I had a silver lining that I could say, here, do this. But remember, we have to be prepared for when it stops. I think one of the areas, if you're looking for something to do, is look at the census. The census are looking for people, and what can we do that can help us along the way? That's primarily what I have, so I'm going to turn it back to Amira.
Thanks, Lou. Those were great tips as well. I especially like the buy local when we can. A lot of companies are still providing services and products, and they're doing that virtually. And so that's great. And also Lou mentioned getting the education that you need. So maybe maybe you're not strong in social media, right? So connect with Brad. And he teaches for Jeffco BRC on numerous topics. If you're confused about policies and procedures or some of the new laws that are coming in place, connect with Ann, right? Go to the experts, go to your local experts and get the help that you need. Because as Lou pointed out, this is a great time to really get your business in good shape, right? Really take advantage. And, you know, ultimately staying busy keeps you from worrying, right? So stay on task. I know for myself, today I woke up ecstatic. I was so happy to actually be doing something because this is our first Zoom call. And I'm thrilled to be here with you today and actually just feel like I'm being of support in some way. I think that's so important for all of us. So thank you. All three of you did an amazing job. So now we're going to open it up to general Q&A from the audience. And you can see, just type your questions over in the chat. So then all the panelists can see. And so whatever question applies to them, they can then chime in and talk about it. So the floor is open.
I see that Pat has said that the census is not hiring, and I am aware that they're not hiring right now, but once the virus is over, they are going to have to really gear up. So having all the paperwork filled out, even so that if your business isn't making money, you can make a little through the census.
Other questions? I'm sure you guys have questions. And if you don't, that's okay too. I have quite a few announcements to make.
I just see a question here from Jessica
I didn't
about
see
part-time employees. And I'll just answer that real quick. The law does cover part-time employees. So.
Okay, can I ask my question then? Because
yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So I have two basically teenagers that work for me. Do I need to have something in place for them? I mean, that's not something that I'm really.
Anyone who has one employee or more.
Okay.
So
I'll check out the website, I guess, and figure out what to put.
Yeah, or call me and we can talk about your individual situation.
Okay.
Yeah. Just give me a call. And you can find me at annhoganconsulting.com, or you can go to the DOL website. It has questions and answers right there, and they're really well laid
out. Patricia asked, is there any government help for solo entrepreneurs and freelancers? I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes when I do announcements. So.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say I see a lot about businesses with employers, but employees. Yeah. But if you're a solo entrepreneur, what is there?
Yeah, we'll get there. So, any other questions? Okay. All right. So that might be it. So, just as a heads up, so Jeffco BRC is still running at full function to support you. We are doing business advising. Lou has got the same schedule on Wednesdays, all day from 9 to 6. And then we've added some time for her. So on Thursday, she's available from 9 to 2 o'clock, Lou?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, so 9 to 2. So 2 o'clock is our last appointment. We're not going to worry about, in the past, we've said our policy has been, you can have up to 6 free business coaching sessions. Forget it. You can have as many as you need right now. And also all of our workshops are free until we get to the end of this. So we just really want to show up and support you guys. So on that note, we have several things coming up. On Tuesday, March 31st, we have a Level Up with LinkedIn. So as many of the panelists talked about, now's a great time. If your LinkedIn profile isn't up to date, this is a great time to do that and begin to utilizing new relationships, right? Making new relationships through that platform. And that is from 10 to 11. On Thursday, April 2nd, Brad is teaching Constant Contact. So for those of you who are not doing newsletters, now is a great time to introduce newsletters. And again, it's not even about necessarily selling your products or services. You can feature them, you can showcase them, but you can do some other things. It's a great way to get in front of people, to help add support, to be that leader in your industry and community, and lead your clients in a positive direction in a time of crisis when people are, frankly, just afraid, right? You know, for a multitude of reasons. So you can be that positive person that they're going to remember. You help them get through this time, right? So that's awesome. And then on Friday the 3rd, we have COVID-19 funding options for Jefferson County business owners, which, Pat, includes solopreneurs, right, and entrepreneurs. We have, it's another panel workshop. We have somebody from the SBA that will be talking about the Disaster Relief Fund. We have somebody from Colorado Enterprise Zone, or just Colorado Enterprise. That's a micro lender, so they are acting very quick. I was on the phone with them for an hour yesterday. They provided me with all kinds of resources that I'm going to delve into today, just so I can become versed with that. So will also be available to meet with you by phone to talk about some of these resources, particularly the funding stuff. We're also hoping to get somebody that can speak on unemployment insurance and how to navigate that process. So for those of you who have employees, you know, hopefully we'll be able to give you further information on that you can share with them. Jeffco BRC will be on sharing what we're doing, and then also SBDC and the Jefferson County Business and Workforce Center. So Jeffco BRC and the Workforce Center is partnering on this particular panel workshops, and that's next Friday. And then the following Monday, we're doing local resources in Jeffco. So we'll have Pam Bells with the West Metro Chamber. She's going to be talking about what all the chambers, there's 7 chambers in Jefferson County, what they're doing to support the business community. We also have, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, economic development, 2 representatives from economic development offices, Lakewood and Wheat Ridge, and then BRC and Jeffco Workforce Center. And a lot could probably change between now and then. As you know, things are changing every day. So new options are coming. We're just all scrambling. You know, we are absolutely here and dedicated to supporting you to the best of our ability through this time. And that is a constant message. So please know that. We will be sharing information with you as we get it. There are a lot of links on the Jeffco BRC website right on the front page that have live links that are always, you know, constantly being updated, so you can go there. Before we ring off, I want to do a screenshot. And so I want to have everybody smile and maybe come out of your cave for a minute and show your face. Thank you. Scott, if you could jump on, that would be great. And Matt and Chelsea and Janae, you guys could come up and then we could do a screenshot for this recording. So we are going to record this too. And I will put it on our Facebook page, and our panelists will also be sharing it there. So let me close that out now. We will do it on a count of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And hopefully that works. Let me do it again because I'm not sure. So Anne or somebody, do I have to have everybody on? Like, do I need a gallery view? Is this the view that I need? The gallery view that shows everybody to do this, or how does it work best? Hello?
Yes, that works best.
Okay, so we're gonna do it one more time. So ready? Everybody, get ready. We're smiling. 1, 2, and 3. Yay. Okay, perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With that, I want to thank all our panelists. You guys were amazing. I really appreciate the time that you've taken this morning to be with us, and I want to thank all of our attendees who have joined us today as well. And remember, I'm going to send an email, follow-up email for all of you today with links or contact information for all of our panelists, and then I'll link you also to our upcoming workshops that we're having so you can register easily. If you do not already receive our newsletter, I suggest you sign up for that so you can be kept in the loop. Our goal is to host at least 2 and up to 4 workshops every day, right, through the week. So every week we want to do 2 to 4 workshops, just providing things that you can be doing, right? Keeping us active, keeping us busy, keeping us engaged, making a good use of this time when we are at the, because in Jefferson County, they just initiated the stay in place our shelter-in-place policy. So if you haven't seen that, I'll include that and what all that means in the email that I send out. And with that, I think that's it. And have a great day and hang in there. And we are going to get through this together, right? We're in it together. None of us are alone. So just try to keep your chin up and practice all of the things that were suggested today using social media, you know, trying to stay positive, engaging with people. We're going to make the best of it. We're going to get through it together and it will end. Okay. So with that.
And Mary, there's one more question.
Oh, okay. What's the question? Oh, let me look. Hold on.
Can anyone participate even if they're not in?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. Please share this information far and wide with any business owners that you know. Everybody is welcome to jump in. We want to support, right? This is a time we come together. Absolutely. And again, it is an excellent opportunity for us to really reevaluate, how do we do business? Inclusively? Yes, let's do that, right? There's plenty for everybody. So have an excellent day and we will see you soon. All right, bye.